Blake, can you talk for me real quick? Blake, can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear my voice, Blake? You can hear me? I can't hear you, though. Do you want me to go on the app? Like, open the app? Because you gave me a link to go to. Do you want me to download the app and see if that will work? Okay, let me do that real quick. Can you hear me now? Talk to me real quick. Here, try this. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, Blake? Can you hear my voice? Blake, can you hear my voice? Talk to me real quick. I can't say something to me. I can't hear anything.
All right. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, loud and clear, bud.
All right. Great. I'll do my intro, and I forgot to turn on my microphone access. That's what it was.
It happens, dude. I
All
was
right.
like,
Sorry about that.
no,
All
shit.
right.
Fuck. Do we have to just do comment talk and then be like, you just do,
You're right. All right. So I'll take you off and then do my intro for you.
All
All
right,
right.
sounds good, man.
All right. Hello, everyone. It is me, Blake, the Snake Roberts, and I'm here with another one of my interviews. I haven't done one in a little while, but I'm back. I'm doing them again. Um, so my guest today, he is a current pro wrestler, actor, and artist. He wrestles for the companies UPW, Flow, WLWW, CCW, and PWK, and he formerly wrestled for many more companies. He is no other than Mr. Made for TV, Tully Bertorelli. So we will get him on in here, and then we will start on with the interview. All right, there we go. Hello.
What's going on, big man?
Nothing much. How are you doing?
Not bad, not bad, not bad.
All
Everything
right.
well in Tullywood, California.
Right. Well, I appreciate you taking your time out to do this interview. And so,
I'm glad to be here, man.
is there anything else you would like to say about yourself before we get started?
Yeah. So my name's Tully Bertorelli. I'm known as Mr. Made for TV, Tully Bertorelli. Um, yeah, I am. You said it right off the bat. I am a current pro wrestler. I'm an artist, and I'm an actor.
Right. All right. So, to get on right with the interview, I'll start off by asking you, when did you start getting into the wrestling business and what made you want to do it?
Wow, what got me into the wrestling business? So when I was probably a little bit younger than you, I was first introduced to pro wrestling on a television show called Thunder in Paradise, starring Hulk Hogan. If you want to watch it, man, I highly recommend it, but it's incredibly bad, but it's so good it's bad. It was one of his, but I knew who Hulk Hogan was because of like that and like Suburban Commando and Mr. Nanny and everything like that. So I knew who Hulk Hogan was. And I remember when I was transferring from fourth grade to a new school and they were talking about wrestling. And I remember playing video games on the Nintendo 64, especially WCW versus NWO World Tour. And I remember who like Kevin Nash was and like Scott Hall and what Six, and they were like talking about wrestling. I'm like, and I was like trying to be like the new kid trying to make friends. So they were talking about like the WWF and stuff like that. And so I kind of lied my way into liking wrestling. And then I remember watching wrestling, being memorized by it. And then probably by age 10, I told my folks and my family that like that's what I wanted to do. And yeah, I remember like when the World Wide Web was a thing in the beginning, like I would look up like wrestling schools and stuff like that. And I found some stuff. And then you don't have to deal with this, but there was a thing called MapQuest back then where I got lost on my way to a wrestling school. So I was going to train when I was 16, but then I kept in touch with this one guy who ran this thing called Windy City Pro Wrestling in Chicago. And I kept on calling him up and asking for advice. And like, finally, when I was 18, I did like a tryout, like I did their kind of like fantasy camp. And yeah, and then I couldn't sign with them because I was going to play college football. And so when I was 20, I came back and contacted one of the trainers by the name of Steve Boz, and then started that when I was 20. And then here I am, 36 years old, still doing it, on and off. But like, I did a lot of things with wrestling besides just be a wrestler. Like I started out just like you, man. I was a ring interviewer, man. And that
All
I
right.
became a ring announcer, and then with that I became a ref, and then eventually they looked at me like, dude, you're 6'3", like you're a brick. Why are you like refereeing? Why are you like having the microphone in your hand? You need to wrestle, man. I'm like, okay, okay.
Right.
So
So you started off doing like the backstage interviewing stuff too, right?
yeah, so I was a backstage. Well, it wasn't. So I wasn't much backstage. I was more of like I would get in the ring and I would like be the interview, like like if you ever watch like fights on like boxing fights, they do like the interviews with
Oh, okay.
with like the main event. I would sort of be like that, and I was called Jack Tully, and I used to walk out to the ring in like a blazer with some jeans and try to look all hip and try to interview the main event of the evening, and they would do a promo. I came out to Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, Feel the Vibrations once, and the promoter one day was like, "Who's coming out to feel the vibrations?" And like he comes up to me, he's like, "Hey brother, ring interviews don't have their own theme songs. You just walk in and do your job." I'm like, "Okay, yes sir, yes sir." So
Right. I'm hoping next I can do like get refereeing, and then my dream is to become a wrestler. So I hope to do
yeah,
that
hey
next.
man,
So
you're doing the right steps, man. I mean, like, keep on training hard, keep on practicing with the microphone thing that you're doing with us at UPW, man. You did great with me in the interview. I had a lot of fun. And like you go from there, learn how to ref, man. And then when you grow up more and you get sprouted up, when you and like you get taller and more muscular, then you can start wrestling.
right.
But you're doing the right steps, Blake. So
Thank you. Yeah.
it's always good to be a jack of all trades in this business, man, because you never know what they're going to use you for.
Right. Because during UPW they were telling me to go out there and do this. They told me to go check on the ring when after that incident with the Devon. So I went out there. I didn't really know what I was supposed to do really, but I
Yeah,
went out there.
just helped out, de-escalate the whole
Right.
situation. Big shout out
Yeah.
to Big Dev. I hope he has a speedy recovery.
Yep. I totally hope so too. That was horrible.
Yeah. What other questions you got, Blake? I know you got tons of stuff to write that you wrote down in your notepad, probably.
Oh yeah, I got tons of questions. All right. So now, when did you start getting into the acting form of things, and when did you want to start branching out of wrestling, and when did you see acting was something you wanted to do?
So here's a fun fact about me, man. I'm a man of many hats. When I was your age, man, I used to host a teen open mic. So I always had the microphone. I used to be a host and everything like that. I used to host like local acts at the teen open mic at Old Town School of Folk Music in my hometown of Chicago. And I did that from age 14 to 18. So I already had the mic shtick in, so I'm already knew how to talk and everything like that. And then when I was in high school, I did a little bit of spoken word, which is basically performance poetry. And I looked up to my older brother because he got me into acting. And then, I've always wanted to take an acting class. So my senior year, I signed up for acting too, and no one signed up. So I was like, shoot. So when I went to prep school to play college football at Bridgeton Academy, I put on a sketch where I parodied the Christmas Carol, and that's how I got kind of the acting bug in me and stuff like that. And like, I've always wanted to act, so I took an acting class in college and basically went from being a journalism major to a animation major to just being an acting major. So I major acting in college, actually.
Oh,
So I've always
nice.
wanted to do it. So I told this to my college professor, Harry Murphy. He always tells me that was a terrible idea of why he wanted to be an acting major. But he's like, well, why do you want to study acting? I'm like, because I want to be a great talker in the ring. He's like, ring? And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to be a professional wrestler. Like, I want to be like the next Rock. And he looked at me. He's like, okay, when you move back to Chicago, if you ever do, get out of wrestling, get into improv, and good luck, kid. So, yeah.
Right.
My journey has been weird. It's been fun, though.
Yeah. I want to go to college for like podcasting and broadcasting and stuff like that, and then also graphic designing. That's what I kind of want to do.
Yo, dude, the flyer you
Other
made
than
for us, man, for this show tonight, man, was awesome, man. Good response from a lot of people that are my Tully viewers, man.
appreciate it. Yeah. I've been using that poster for a while now. I think I've been doing that since the start. I haven't changed it up really, besides the logo on the top. So
Nice,
I
cool.
think I'm gonna have to change it up soon.
Yeah.
Out of all the movies you have acted in, What was been your favorite?
You know what, man? So one of my things I've really enjoyed was like doing the movie Weekend Getaway that was recently released on Amazon Prime, starring Man Fulton and I. That it was just a fun experience, just because like it was my first time doing talkie bits, as I call it, because before that I did stunt work for some of the Chicago shows that were filmed in Chicago. So I was on Chicago PD, I was on Empire, I was on Fargo, I was on Power Book 4 Force doing stunt work. But like I really always wanted to act in film, and that Weekend Getaway was probably like one of my favorites. And then also this one movie that I did when I first started out acting in Chicago was called Chicago Rot. It's available on Tubi. So it's
Okay.
Chicago ROT. It's it's a rock and roll thriller for sure. So I really enjoyed it a lot. And yeah, it was just fun to be working alongside with a lot of cool people. Like working with Madman Fulton was awesome and everything like that.
Of
And
course.
we got to talk wrestling, of course. So it was really cool to have a guy that was there that wrestled for WWE and like wrestled for
Yep.
NXT. So it was just really cool to just have that experience with myself, and that I would never take that away. I have a tattoo on my leg that says WD, and it stands for Weekend Getaway.
Oh
No,
wow.
WD 40, but it's for the movie I did. So
Yeah.
so that was really cool. But every experience I've had in film so far is just always just gets better and better and better. So when people ask me my favorites, I just say it just gets better like that.
Right. Yeah. Because you never know what's gonna come next, and you might have something even bigger and better in store.
Yeah.
So. And Fulton is a great. I've met him multiple times for UPW because he works for UPW many
Hmm.
times. So
Yeah. Good dude.
I didn't really know he did acting until he posted something recently about this new movie that he was doing, Weekend Getaway. So
Yeah. He's a big boy though. I know I'm a big guy, but that boy is a giant compared to me.
yep. If a movie was made about your career, who would you want to play you?
Oh man. Who would have I'm trying to think. If he was alive, Chris Farley. Just kidding. I love that man.
Oh,
You know who Chris Farley is?
yep.
Okay,
From
cool.
Wisconsin, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Good dude. Chris Farley or hmm, if he was alive, if the person's alive, probably Bill Hader from Barry, and he's done like some other stuff. He was on Saturday Night Live a lot. You
He
know,
sounds familiar.
yeah. I'm trying to think of your. Oh yeah, he's the voice in Inside Out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of with your age demographic how you know him. He was one of the voices in Inside Out. So probably Bill Hader. Maybe Zach Galifianakis will be great, or Jack Black. You
Ooh, that
know,
wouldn't be bad.
yeah, that'd be fun. But yeah, I got a bunch of guys in my head that I would love for them to play. Actually, if Chris Hemsworth shaved his head, that would be great. If he could play me, maybe.
That would be huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if he would shave his head for that.
Who knows?
If you could wrestle or have a segment with any actor, who would that be?
Oh man. Let's go into wrestling first, then I'll go into acting. If I can do a segment with dead or alive, or just alive for now.
Um, we could do both, I guess, if you want.
Okay. If it was dead, it would definitely be Andre the Giant. If it was alive, I would definitely love to do a segment with like Joe Hendry or um, The Rock. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that would be really fun. Um, that would be a fun segment.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
or Madman Fulton. But now when it comes to acting, Man, I got a list for you. I would love to act alongside with, like, if Farley was still alive, I would love to act with him. I would love to act alongside with Chris Hemsworth. Christopher Walken's my number one on the list. Like, I love Christopher Walken. Willem Dafoe, I would love to act alongside. Harrison Ford, Michael Keaton, I would love to act alongside with that. Like, those are like my heroes, you know?
Oh yeah, most likely, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you could guest star in any TV show and or movie, which would it be and why?
Star Trek, because I am a huge Trekkie. I know my muscles do not speak Vulcan or anything like that, but I would love to be like alongside with Patrick Stewart in like Star Trek: The Next Generation as like a creature with just like prosthetics on my head with like a freaking Starfleet officer outfit to talk about like conflict in the galaxy. That would be super cool. I would love to get punched in the face by Batman. Let's make it happen. Let's manifest that.
Oh,
Yeah. Can't be Indiana Jones anymore because Harrison Ford is pretty old now, but it would still be kind of cool. That was always my dream when I was doing stunts to get punched by him. You know?
right. That would be cool.
Yeah.
What are some of like your wrestling and acting New Year resolutions that you would like to achieve in 2025 since it's the new year? What are some things?
For 2025, I want to make memories in wrestling. If that makes any sense. I'm not here to
Yeah.
chase after a title. I'm not here to have like a winning streak. I'm not here to, you know, demand that I should be the UPW, world champion or or any company I work for to be their champion or anything like that. I just want to create memories for you all as the viewer, the fan, because I
Right.
want people to remember that. I want people to remember when Mr. Made for TV came out that he gave you a match that like no other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when it comes to acting, I just want to just continue and just you know get more out there and just put myself out there as audition sense and just keep on hopefully book something again, but just like keep on just auditioning, which I just love doing. It's half the battle as an actor, by the way. You just audition, audition, audition. Eventually something will happen. A phrase I like to always tell people is you have to trust the process to enjoy the journey that's ahead of you. there's
Right.
no there's no like skipping steps. You just have to just trust the process and enjoy this journey that you're doing with whatever what you're doing. Whether it be acting, whether it be wrestling, you just have to trust it. You trust it that in the end, stuff is gonna be good. Now you'll have highs and lows and valleys, but just know
Mm-hmm.
that trust it, believe it. You know,
Most definitely. Yep.
yeah. So, but yeah, those are my resolutions for 2025.
Great. Who is your favorite wrestler to watch nowadays? Who are like some of your favorite wrestlers in general?
Today's world, man, I really enjoy watching like like just the mainstream stuff.
Like any of like the bigger companies, WWE,
Yeah.
AEW.
Um, AEW, I love the Outrunners. I know
Ooh,
them.
okay.
I've been on shows with them, so I always love watching the Outrunners do their thing because it's just great. It's silly. It works. WWE, man, I'm a big Gunther fan.
Oh, okay.
I love Gunther. I love the way he just comes out. Reminds me of Ivan Drago when he comes out.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Like, I mean, I'm really hoping it's Cena and Gunther at Mania because it'll be like Rocky Four. Um, who do I also? I love Chad Gable. Chad Gable, in my opinion, is the best wrestler in the WWE today, and he deserves everything he deserves to be there. He is just great to watch. Like that match with him and Penta the other day on Raw, like was amazing to watch. You know,
Yeah, that was good.
yeah. Let me think. TNA, I really enjoy. I enjoy watching Joe Hendry. I just think Joe Hendry just has the it, has that one. I mean, some people say he's a one-trick pony. I don't think so. He's a very talented wrestler. I just think the whole thing that he does with the parody of the music, it's different, but it's a different that like is really cool to watch and stuff like that.
Right.
Let me try to think of some other guys I really like watching. LA Knight is always fun to watch. Just I really enjoy watching. Yeah, I'm more of, like people ask me like, are you AEW or WWE? I'm WWE. You know,
Yep.
I've always
Yeah,
enjoyed
I
that
agree.
stuff. Yeah, it's more
Yeah.
fun. So
Yep. I don't really watch AEW much. I keep up with it and stuff, but I mean, I like what they do and stuff. I would watch it, but I just don't really watch it, I guess.
yeah, I mean, it's as I explain to people, wrestling is like your favorite ice cream. Like, what's your favorite ice cream, Blake?
Play-Doh.
Play-Doh? Nice. My favorite ice cream is probably Moose Tracks. WWE is very much vanilla ice cream. AEW is very much chocolate ice cream. You look at, TNA, that's strawberry ice cream. And then you look at all these indie federations that are out there, and they're just all different flavors of the ice cream. Or you can compare it to pizza, you know?
Right. Yep.
It just and the crazy thing is there's so much of it now that people can double scoop, do different scoops of ice cream or do different toppings of ice of the pizza that they like, and it's just a great time to watch wrestling and just be in the wrestling business now.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. What are your thoughts on the TNA Genesis show that they just did in PCO? I don't know if you've seen that, where he went to GCW and did that with the title and stuff. Do you think that's a work, or what do you think about that?
I don't really go into the backstage. Like I never read the Bleacher Reports or anything like that. I did see some news headlines and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it reminded me back in the day when Mr. Perfect stole the WWF title from Hulk Hogan and destroyed it. That's all I can think of. But like, I don't really look into that kind of stuff. I don't know if it's a shoot or anything like that. I
Yeah.
really don't like. I don't like reading dirt sheets on people. You know,
Right.
just because like it's not my kind of thing. So when people ask me that kind of stuff, I'm just like, I honestly don't know. When I read the
Right. I
headline,
understand.
all in my head, I just thought of the time when Mr. Perfect. People can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Mr. Perfect took the WWF title from Hulk Hogan and just started smashing it. So that's all that reminded me of that. So,
Right.
so, so work or shoot, I don't really look into it more than that.
Yep. Who has been the stiffest wrestler you have gotten in the ring with in your career?
I mean, stiff is different from snug, but one of the best guys I ever got to wrestle that is kind of considered stiff to most people is this guy named Mike Anthony from Chicago. He's a Windy City legend. He helped train Christopher Daniels. He's the Mexicutioner. I mean, he is a hell of a worker, like a hell of a wrestler to wrestle. He's a wrestler's wrestler, pretty much. But if you want to compare that, probably that. But I was able to survive, which is good.
Well, yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to say like stiff, I would, he was snug, but I wouldn't consider. People would say he's stiff. I don't think so.
Right.
Not saying
Yeah.
that Mike. I'm not saying to Mike you hit soft. You still hit hard if he's listening.
Did you ever do any type of drama class or anything when you were in school or as a kid?
Yeah. So when I was a kid, man, I mean, like I was saying earlier, man, like I did theater in college, and then after college, I studied at the Improv Olympic in Chicago, Illinois. That's where Farley went. A lot of famous people like Amy Poehler and Tina Fey. Like the who's who of comedy went through IO. and I studied
Right.
there. I got some fun opportunities. I actually got to appear on a show called Drunk History, which was really cool. I was an audience plan on the Steve Harvey show while I did that. And then
Oh wow.
recently, I've just been enrolled at this place called the Vagabond School of the Arts, and it's an acting for the camera program where I'm at, and it's just a wonderful program. And I just wrapped up their conservatory actually in the fall. That's why I've been gone for a little bit. But it's just a really fun program. Michael McCracken runs a great ship out there, and it's a great place to go. And people always ask me, like, if they want to be actors or anything like that. I tell them check out that place.
Right. What do you consider to be a weakness and then a strength of yours in wrestling?
Strength of mine is I know how to. I have the gift of gab. I know how to talk. I can definitely, um, basically, I know how to talk smack and everything like that. I have the gift of gab, if you know what I mean, Blake. My
Oh yeah.
weakness is I always lose. So I got to learn how to win.
Right.
Every time I wrestle, somehow I always lose. So I got to learn how to win now.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Yeah. I mean, last time you saw what happened with me and Melvin Hayes, Nerd Rage.
Yep.
He got lucky with that claw. I had to go to the doctor and get that checked out. Luckily, I still have my brain right here.
Maybe we need a rematch between you two.
Oh, I would love that. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Out of all the different wrestling names you have gone under, which one would you say has been like your all-time favorite?
Mr. Made for TV, Tully Bertorelli. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just always a lot of fun. The funny thing is, I was given that moniker by my buddy John Bowler. Shout out to him. He gave me that nickname, because for a
Okay.
while
Yeah.
I always wrestled as my regular name, but I was like trying to think of a nickname, and he coined that to me, and I took it. So
Yeah, I think it's a good nickname.
yeah, so I've always enjoyed that one.
Yep. That was actually like my next question is how did you get your nickname? So that just answered that. But
Well, I can go
what
into
about?
detail actually. Blake, I can go into detail actually. How I can
Okay.
what
Yeah.
happened. So I used to do, as you know, you've researched me. I went as Tullyvision for a while,
Yep.
and I've always played around with the name like Tullyvision, Tullywood, and stuff like that. And I remember I've also went as the 11th one of the world. Like I had all these like elaborate nicknames. And I remember when I was going to start working for my buddy John, and he wanted me to pair me up in a group, and I was like, "Oh, cool, awesome." And he's like, "Yeah, but I don't want you to just be Tully. I want you to be Tully Bertorelli. I want you to be you." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So am I just Tully Bertorelli, like the 11th one? I was like, no, no, no. We're getting rid of the 11th one of the world. I want you to be Mr. Made for TV, Tully Bertorelli. And I'm like, okay. So I was thinking to myself, okay, who's Mr. Made for TV, Tully Bertorelli? And I swear to God, I was watching The Simpsons one day. And do you watch The Simpsons at all?
No, I don't watch him.
Okay, so there's a character on The Simpsons named Troy McClure, and he plays this like TV personality. He was played by Phil Hartman. Rest in peace, Phil Hartman. And he used to do this like catchphrase on the cartoon show, and he used to say, "Hi, my name's Troy McClure. I've been on such shows as blah 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 blah." And so one day I was like, "Hi, my name's Mr. Made for TV, Tully Bertorelli. You might see me on such shows as Chicago PD, Empire, and Fargo, and coming soon to a theater near you, Weekend Getaway." And I was like, it clicked. for the first time in my life, it actually clicked. And I was like, this is amazing. It's fun. It made wrestling fun again. So I really
Right.
thank my buddy John Bullard from Flow for that.
Awesome. Yeah. Are there any upcoming movies, shows, or commercials or anything that you can talk about that you might be a part of?
Let's see. I got nothing at the moment. Last year I was in a Pine Sol ad on YouTube that a lot of people saw. So if they didn't see that, they can always find me on Instagram. I have it uploaded there. So if they want to see the Pine Sol commercial, they can. But nothing really happening right now. Stay tuned. I'll let you first know, Blake, so you can put it on your page, man.
All right. What are some things that you haven't done yet in the wrestling business that you would love to do?
I never wrestled on mainstream television for like the bigger companies. That would be pretty fun. I've never wrestled overseas. I would love to do that, like either in Puerto Rico or Mexico or like England or Germany. I love to go abroad with wrestling. Yeah, I've only won a few titles in my career actually, which is funny. So I was never like given the strap. Yeah, and then but yeah, I would like to just like I would love to I love to travel with it. Travel
Right.
with wrestling overseas. That would be pretty fun. As my thing is this, I really like to just make memories for people.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people's dreams is also going to Japan because their wrestling is like really different there
Oh
than it
yeah.
would be. Yeah. Yeah.
You got to prepare for that one though.
Oh yeah. It's quite different type
Have you
of
been watching
wrestling
any
there.
Japan stuff?
I don't really watch much of Japan stuff, really, but I know from my interviews I heard that a lot of like the wrestlers that did wrestle in Japan, the stuff that they did there was way different than in America. So
Yeah.
hmm have you ever got to do any of like extra work for any of like the big companies in your career?
Oh, like WWE extra work or anything like that?
Yeah, like backstage or like security.
I was never a security guard. I was always a fan in attendance. I never did WWE extra work or like any of that other stuff. I did though for film. I did fun background work before I got into stunt work. I'm in the movie Divergent. So I was in Dauntless. You actually see me, but if you want to look for me, you got to look for a guy that's clean shaven, which I'm never shaving this unless I have to, you know. But I was in
Right.
that. I was in that movie with background. I did fun background for the Chicago PD once, and this TV show called Crisis. I was in Batman versus Superman as a background actor, but you don't see me, you know.
Oh.
But no, it was. But Divergent, you'll definitely see me if you ever rent the movie and watch. You'll see this 213-pound kid clapping and be like, oh wow, that's Mr. Made for TV. It's fun.
Yeah. What was it like now that you said you were in Batman versus Superman? What was that like? How did they tell you guys that you were going to be in it? Where were you supposed? Were you told that you were going to be in it, or was it just
So I
something
mean, how
random?
it works is like with a lot of people always ask me like, how do I get into acting for film? I want to do movies. I want to do TV. I tell them first, go to class. That's one thing. You should always learn the skill before you do it. But if you want to learn like what set life is like and stuff like that, there's possibilities that you can easily apply for like background work for TV shows and film, and that's how you learn like set etiquette. You learn how a movie set is constructed. So like it was really cool to do Divergent because I worked on that show for 3 months. I was on set because I was one of the Dauntless guys. That's one of the badass people in the faction. Sorry to swear. Um, but like I did that for fun, and then like I remember doing background for Chicago PD. So what you do is you basically sign up for like a background casting directors like website, like where I was at with 4-Star Casting. Shout out to them. And you will submit if you see something that's going for your look and stuff like
Right.
that. So I remember when they were filming Batman versus Superman, I was like, hey, let's just give it a shot. And I got to do this like one scene that was on a boat. And what was really cool was I got to meet Zack Snyder, the
Oh
director
wow.
of Batman versus Superman. And we're on the boat, like I'm upstairs on the boat outside. And he just looks around and smiles. He's like, man, it's beautiful out. And then like we got to talk for like a little bit and it was cool. And then I got to meet I saw my one friend that I did Divergent with that was a stand-in, and his name tag said Clark on it. And I didn't put two to two together. I was like,
Right.
oh, like, what are you here for, bro? Because when you do background work, you meet a lot of people that are trying to do the thing and try to break through and try to do other things. And he looks at me, he's like, really, bud? Because he had like glasses and it said Clark on it. I'm like, dude, I don't know who Clark. Oh, wait, you're standing in for Henry Cavill? So that was pretty cool to see that. Um,
Right.
but you don't see me, but it was cool to be, part of that. I never really got mad when I did background work because like you're not getting the credit for it. You're just a blurb sometimes. You walk
Mm-hmm.
through a frame and like you pause and be like, hey, that's me. You know?
Of course. Yep.
Yeah. But within background work, that's actually how I got into actually doing stunt work, actually. So that was
Oh,
pretty
okay.
cool. Yeah.
Could you share that story?
Yeah. I remember I was doing background work for a show called Chicago PD. I was playing the newly arrival prison inmates, and we were on sets, and basically this guy comes in and rides on a skateboard and starts talking to everybody. And I told him to be quiet on set, and turned out to be a stunt guy.
Oh
And then we
wow.
started talking, and he was like, hey, work out with me. And then like I went to his workout gym, which was a backyard with that looked like Ninja Warrior. And I got to meet people that worked in Chicago that did that stuff. And I got to meet a lot of cool people like Brian Christensen, who gave me an opportunity. And I thank the guys from Midwest Stunts to give me my opportunity to work on, Chicago PD and all that stuff, and work Empire, and with my buddy Marty Murray giving me the opportunity to work Power and Empire as well. And it was a cool experience to say the least.
Of
I
course.
also
Yeah.
got to join SAG when that happened. So that was a cool accomplishment as a performer.
Yeah. Yeah. That was another question of mine. You joined SAG in 2016. So what was that moment like for you, getting to join and all of that?
It was funny because I remember what happened was it happened. I was doing a stunt workshop with the guys, and I said to the coordinators, I was like, "Hey, my mom's gonna buy me a SAG card for my birthday," and they all look at me like, that's not how it works, kid." I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, you have to get a job first." So my buddy Tom Lowe was like, "Hey, man, take a selfie and I'll send it to me, and I might have something for you." So 2 days before my birthday, I joined my SAG on my 28th birthday, and I worked on the show Chicago PD. So that was pretty
Wow.
cool. Got a ball thrown at me by Voight. Got my mug shot up, which was pretty cool. But yeah. Do you guys have Chicago PD up in the UP? I don't know if that TV show shows up a lot. It's Dick Wolf, Chicago PD.
I live in Wisconsin, so
Oh, okay.
it does. I was born in Michigan, Marquette. I
Yeah.
live now in Wisconsin, so it does show up here in Wisconsin.
Nice.
So yeah.
My episode sometimes airs when it syndicates. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. but that was a fun experience,
Right.
Yeah.
Could you share like that experience? What was that like for you doing the stunt work for all of Chicago PD?
It was my first time doing it. I remember getting there and like basically when you do that kind of stuff, it's just like they just direct you like, hey, this is what's gonna happen. You know, it might change, but you're here, you're working, and stuff like that. And it was just really fun, I got to work the guy who is the main guy on Chicago PD, and get a ball thrown at by me. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, of course, right? The
Yeah.
main guy. I mean,
When we were doing practice, he practiced throwing a water ball at me before it was the glass bottle. So
did it hurt at all, or were you
yeah,
just used to it? Yeah.
I'm just used to it. I mean, like if you look at all I had to just is duck. I didn't have any lines or anything like that. So
Yeah. So I know you did some comedy in your career. What was your comedy like in your career, and did you like doing it? And if you could go back, would you do that again? Do some
yeah,
comedy?
so like comedy's always been underneath my life. From hosting the teen open mics to kill time, I used to do life lessons with Tully. When I was your age, I used to just joke about my life because like I'm bigger than all my family members. I swear to God, think I'm from Krypton or I'm adopted. But yeah, but yeah, I always did like a little bit of stand up, and then like when I studied at the Improv Olympic, I learned long form improv, which is known as the Herald, and that was a lot of fun. I got to get a lot of fun opportunities as a comedian. Like I was on the show Drunk History. I just talk about my Lincoln tattoo, but and then I was an audience plant on that on Steve Harvey, the talk show. I was an audience
Oh
plant,
wow.
so that was a lot of fun. If you want to YouTube that, you can look up Yo Mama Wingman. So that was a fun opportunity to do that, and yeah, I still sometimes hit up an open mic doing stand up. I just talk about my life and my life experience. I mean, when I go down the line, when I talk about what I do, people are like, "You do a lot, you know. You've got a lot of weird stories." I'm like, "Yeah, that's why life should be weird."
Yeah.
But life can be a punchline sometimes.
Of course, right. You never know what life could throw at you.
Yeah.
So I know there was something on your Instagram the other day about if you could play any superhero, but if you could play any superhero and or villain in a movie or show, what would you want to play?
Okay. If I ever played a superhero, I would love to play Stronger Guy from X Force or X
Okay.
Factor. Excuse me, X Factor from X Factor. X Men. He's an X Men character from the '90s. All my friends are going to yell at me later when they're like, "It's X Factor." Um, Villain. I would love to play the Clayface in Batman.
Ooh, okay.
You know, just to play off that whole actor thing. Or I would love to play a dumb Joker goon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it would just be funny to be like, "What's wrong, boss?" And stuff like that. What do you mean the bat's up there, boss? You know?
Right.
So that would be fun.
Yeah, those would be great.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of another superhero, maybe. Hmm. Don't really know. Because I don't want to be Batman, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe Jean-Paul Valley Azrael like Batman? Do
Oh,
you follow
okay.
comics at all?
No, not really.
Okay, so Jean-Paul Valley Azrael took over Batman when he got his back broken by Bane in Nightfall. That would be pretty cool. I mean, he becomes crazy, you know. That'd be fun to play Azrael. But yeah.
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 If you could do voiceover for any character or characters in any shows, cartoon, or movie, what characters would you like to do voiceovers for?
I would love to be just going back to being the dumb Joker goon. I would love to be
Yeah.
like a goon in a kid show, like a bad guy, not like the bad guy, but like the dumb bad guy. Like, what's wrong, boss? Like, what's going on? Like, oh my god, I probably love to play like a teenager at like those like weird like surfer teenagers. Like, come on, man, like ride the wave, dude. One of my favorite things to do is to entertain people is I love to just do funny voices in the car. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I would love to voice like that. I would love to be the weird like movie announcer for movies sometimes, like in a world where nothing matters.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, that would be pretty fun. Or playing like a super like I don't know what kind of voice would be kind of a superhero like this, but like a villain, like a good hero comes this way, So, but yeah, I would love to do that. I would like to just be a goofball for cartoons, just like doing that kind of voice.
Right.
I can't do any voices off cue right now. I mean, I could do probably Mickey, but people would freaked out if I could do that. Oh boy, But oh boy, Blake, what do you got next? But yeah, it should be fun with that. Or be a villain, like be a vampire, That'd be fun. Yeah, if you're ever backstage, just ask me to do a fun character. I'll be like, do a vampire, do a zombie. The voice.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised you haven't got booked to do any like voiceover stuff.
Not yet. To do that, I have to take classes and get a voiceover agent, which I currently do not have. It's
okay.
It's been on my list, and that's another goal for 2025 is get like a demo ready and submit for cartoons. Because still to this day, my biggest dream is to voice a cartoon.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's make it happen one day, Blake.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
Yeah, manifest it. Disney hired me. Just kidding. What other questions you got, bud?
Out of all the shows you have done, which one has been like your all-time favorite?
Like TV shows?
Yeah.
I mean, they keep on getting better and better, man. It was really cool getting killed on Fargo. That was pretty cool to do that. Because I get stabbed in the eye. So that was pretty cool. My eye's real. It's not glass. That was pretty fun. Working on Empire was a lot of fun. It just gets better and better. Like I said before, like I can't name like the best because like every time I do a job or I book a gig, like it just gets better.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Who are some of your favorite actors or actresses you have gotten to work with in your acting career?
Oh man. One of my favorite actresses I ever got to work with. It was Diana Amos, who's the Pine Sol lady when I did the Pine Sol commercial. That was so cool. She was so friendly, super cool. We talked about Robin Williams. We talked about comedy and improv. Like I felt like it was like we were like talk. It was just super cool, Blake. Like we were just talking in between takes, of course. But it was really cool. And then when I was given the line for that commercial, that was like, holy cow, holy crap. I'm saying the line in the commercial. This is huge.
Of course, right, yeah.
And then working with Felicia Rashad, who was Bill Cosby's wife in the Cosby Show, that was a lot of that was a lot of fun. And then I don't know the actor's name for Power Book for Force, but the guy that plays Tommy on that show, that's the lead guy. I forgot his name. I know his first name is Joe, but I don't know his last name, so like I'm not sure. But that was a lot of fun to work with. There's when I did Drunk History. But yeah. So yeah, it was pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I just looked him up. It's Joe Sikora.
Yeah, Joseph Cora. There we go. Thank you.
Yep.
Really cool dude.
What has been the longest movie or show you've had to do, such as like the longest time you've had to act for it, not like the longest movie you've been in?
Are you talking about like filming wise, or just like what? Can you get more detail of like what question you're asking?
Yeah, like filming wise, how long? Like the longest you've had to take for filming
Oh,
in
like
like a
oh
whole.
man. I remember one time when I did background for Divergent, we were on set from like 4 o'clock in the afternoon to like 2 o'clock in the morning the next day or three.
Oh, jeez.
I remember when I worked Power, I was on call on set for 5 o'clock, and then I didn't step onto the lot until it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, sometimes there's like 12-hour days when you're doing it. I tell people all the time that want to be an actor and everything like that. If you do acting for film, prepare for long days. It's not. Sometimes they're short days, sometimes they're long days, but the long days definitely are long. You just have to maintain your caffeine. Don't overdo it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, you would need a lot of caffeine for that.
Yeah. 2 Bang energy drinks. Just kidding. Don't do that.
Was it hard for you to like cooperate at some points for how long it like?
When you're on set, you don't feel like there's time. You don't feel that it's the time, like you're tired, if that makes any sense. Like it's like you're at work.
Right.
You can have your coffee, you can have a little bit of sugar and everything like that, but like I never felt like I was tired or I had to power through anything like with a take or anything like that. But then when you
Right.
get off of the lot and everything like that, and when you go to your trip, and you're going home, that's when your brain's like, you know.
Yep.
So yeah.
Of course. Yeah. So I'm gonna say like, what was it like to share the ring with? And I'm gonna name like a wrestler, and you'll just say like something about them, like what was it like to share the ring with? So I'll
Yeah, of
name
course.
like a couple wrestlers. All right. So what was it like to share the ring with Eric Smalls?
One of my favorite memories I ever did in the last couple of years of my career. I loved working with that guy. Um, Fun fact about Eric and I, when I was starting out, I got into refereeing, like I said before. I
Mm-hmm.
actually got to referee Eric Smalls when he was in the Half Pint Brawlers.
Oh
And then when
wow.
I had this opportunity to wrestle him, it was just out of fluke because his opponent was late. So the book promoter comes
Oh
up to me and
okay.
says, "Hey, can you work double duty?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. What's up?" He's like, "Who am I working?" Like, "Oh, the little guy." So me and Eric are talking and everything like that. And I'm like, "Half Pint Punk. By any chance, were you a Half Pint Brawler?" He's like, "Yeah, that's how I got my start." I'm like, "Holy shit, man. Like, I refereed you in Joliet and blah, 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 blah." So it was like full circle moment, man. It was so surreal. And we had so much fun. Hopefully I get to wrestle him again. It was just so fun.
Yeah. I recently contacted him to have him on my podcast, and he got back with me. So, I mean, he'll possibly be on my podcast sometime soon. So,
Nice. Ask him how it was wrestling Tully Bertorelli.
all right, yeah, because I know he works some NWA now. So
Yeah, he works
he's signed.
in the NWA now. I'm really happy for him too.
Yeah. What was it like to share the ring with Lennox Leone, who did some stuff for WWE and
Oh man,
OVW?
the Golden Lion. Oh man, Lennox, that was a lot of fun too. He's my brother from another mother. I mean, it was just great to wrestle him, and just pick his brain from his experience and everything like that. And it was just fun. We never got to have a one-on-one. I hope hopefully one day we get to, but it was
Mm-hmm.
just really fun for that moment of that scramble that we were in, that we got to do that.
Right. What was it like to share the ring with Marche Rocket?
Ooh, M80 Marche Rocket. We did a lot of spot. We never wrestled each other, but we did some segments together. I love Marche. Can't say anything wrong. Like, great dude. I'm happy for all his accomplishments, and he's just got positive energy. And if you ever get the chance to interview him, man, he's just gonna just inspire you more and everything like that. Good dude.
Yeah, I actually had him on my podcast. It was a live in-person interview at a show.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Yeah, he's goofy too. Did he make you laugh a lot?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
What was it like to share the ring with Sky Blue?
I'd never been in the ring with Sky, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
My
I know.
bad. Then I must have read something.
I've met Sky before. When she was training at Chicago Style Wrestling, I met her, and I met her when I did some stuff around in the Midwest area. I never wrestled Sky though, but I'm very happy for her accomplishments.
Right. What about Axel Rico?
Um, I've never really wrestled Axel. We've been on shows together. But that guy, I will tell you right off the bat, I am so happy for him. He is a guy that will be the next level, in my opinion. He's got the total package. He's got the charisma. He's got the look. I mean, look at the broccoli hair, for crying out loud. It's amazing. Good guy, though.
Yeah, he was great. I had him on my podcast too.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Cool.
I don't know if this is true either, but this is what I seen. But Melanie Cruz.
Oh yeah. That was a match a while back when I was first starting out. Um, that girl can wrestle. Great. Great talents and everything like that. But yeah, I remember that match. I was in a tag match with her, with my buddy Mask Fusion against her, and I'm trying to think who the other opponent was. But yeah, it was fun. I remember it was in Godley, Illinois, at Northern Lights Wrestling. But yeah.
Right.
And then that point in my career, I used to wear a hairpiece. Not so much anymore.
What made you not want to wear it anymore?
That was a moniker. I used to wrestle as Loverboy Tiberius Tang.
Yeah.
I used to wear a wig, and I used to prance around and said I had beautiful hair to all the ladies, and then I would say my hair is more beautiful than you. I'm the ultimate diva and all that stuff. And then halfway through the match, the wig gets popped off. It was like the punchline.
Oh, that's great.
I was inspired by when Kurt Angle went bald and he wore that hairpiece with the wrestling gear.
Okay, yep, I remember that.
Yeah.
I see that.
I did not come up with that name. I showed up to a Royal once with the wig on, and my buddy Braun the Lumberjack looked at me and was like, "You look like the singer of Loverboy." Man, that hairpiece looks like Tiberius, Kurt from Star Trek. So we're going to call you Loverboy Tiberius, and then somebody else was out. Ping! So that's how I got that name.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it hard traveling from show to show, and what is the worst thing about traveling? I know you don't have to travel far yet or travel much, but
it's the hard thing about traveling is like the distance, man. Sometimes like you're on the road, like on like 4.5 hours there, 4.5 hours back, and you're home at like 5:30 in the morning. Your brain wakes up at 11, and it's not fun, because you want to be home by then. Sometimes you could sleep in hotels. I've slept in, truck parking lots and everything like that. I've experienced that. So that's the hard thing is just travel. It's just like the long distance and stuff like that. Sometimes I used to travel alone, which I really don't recommend because it gets lonely and it just sucks because you got no one
Oh
to
yeah.
talk to, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, that's the only thing that sucks. The thing I really like about traveling though in wrestling though is like going to these small towns, going to these like places like Iron Mountain, Michigan, or like Griffin, Indiana for Backbreaker or anything like that, and like see the town itself. Because I grew up in a big city of Chicago, and
Mm-hmm.
it was really I grew up as a city boy, but like when I would travel to the burbs or like the small towns, I always thought it was really cool because in my eyes it reminded me of like movies in the sense of like the small town football, and everything like that. So I never really got to experience living in a small town because we
Right.
grew up in Chicago, on the north side. Like it's a big city, but like it sometimes feels like a small town when everyone knows each other because we all grew up on like in the same radius. But like, yeah, that's my one thing I love about traveling and wrestling is to go into small towns and trying the local diner or like going to the local tavern, and try like only like the food there that you can get there, like a Mickey Mouse pancake or like I don't know, you know what I'm saying, So that's always fun.
Yep. Right. Who was your first opponent in front of a crowd, and how did you feel going into that first match?
My first opponent ever in wrestling was in Chicago Heights in IUWA. It's not listed online, and I was against the Russian Assassins, and I tagged with my buddy. It was the Russian Assassins and Ryu Shizaki against me and my buddy Joey Roth, and I think the guy's called the Big L or the Big Mac, and I locked up with my opponent, and he twisted his ankle off of a lockup.
Mm.
And I felt complete shit because he blamed me the whole time. And I
Oh,
grabbed his
jeez.
leg and twisted it. And like, they later looked at the footage and saw that he twisted his own ankle. It wasn't I twisted his ankle off of a lockup, if that makes any sense.
Right.
So yeah, that was my first taste of wrestling was that.
That's something.
Yeah, going in the back, freaking out that the dude twisted his ankle and everything like that. So yeah, I will always remember that.
And I bet he was kind of upset when he found out then.
Oh yeah, trust me, it terrified me, man.
How did the crowd react when they seen you for the first time in the ring?
Honestly, man, there wasn't a lot of people there. The only people there that were cheering for me was my brother and our three friends. I don't know how many people were actually in the crowd at the time, but it wasn't that much.
All right.
Yeah.
If you could go back in time and wrestle anyone that has passed away, who would that be?
Oh man. No order, but I would love to wrestle Andre the Giant. I would love to wrestle Bruiser Brody. I would love to wrestle Eddie Guerrero and Owen Hart or the British Bulldog. But not
Okay,
in
yeah,
any
those are
order.
good.
Not any order.
Right. Right. That's a good lineup there of who you would
Yeah.
like to wrestle, possibly. Who would you top as like your three favorite opponents ever in your whole entire career?
Um Wildman Beast. I'm not putting this in any order. Uh
Right.
Nerd Rage Melvin Hayes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Kid Lat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like Melvin Hayes' match that you just had.
Yeah, the match I just had with Melvin Hayes was probably up there as one of my favorites to come back.
Nice.
Yeah.
How did it like make it one of your favorites? Was there like a moment in the match? Was
The
what
crowd
made
was
it
so
your?
hot, man. That dude's UPW's Hulk Hogan in glasses. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it was his first welcome back, and just the energy in the room for us was just amazing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was just a lot of fun just to be part of that, you know?
Of course.
Yeah. And then, like, I wrestled this guy, Wildman Beast, for many times, and I learned a lot from him, and he was an old school guy, and it was just a lot of fun wrestling him bunch and just picking his brain. And then wrestling this guy named Kid Lat that's out of Chicago. He's an up and comer, but it was just anytime we got to be in the ring with each other was just a lot of fun. He's a young dude, and he's just ball of energy, but just a good ball of energy. We did this spot at our show in the match where he did the Taker walk of old school.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, on the rope.
Yeah, but he walked around the whole ring dancing to the song Tequila. You know the song from Pee Wee Herman? You know?
Yep.
So we did that, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, kind of like Action Mike Jackson. He walks around the top rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. If you could make a Survivor Series match, including you, with 4 current wrestlers from any company, who would you choose as partners?
In the mainstream?
Yeah.
Okay. I would pick Gunther.
Okay.
Sheamus. Drew McIntyre. And no, scrap that. The Outrunners, Gunther, and Sheamus, and I.
Okay.
Yeah. What will it be called? A whole lot of mass. The Mass Effect. I don't know. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That's a good team. Yeah.
Yeah. You got the technicians from the Outrunners, and then you got the powerhouses, you know?
Yep, for sure. I think you would actually make a good trios faction with the Outrunners. I think you would do great with them.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
I actually met them. They came to exactly where I live for a wrestling company.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
It was right before they got famous. They had a couple dark matches in AEW, and they came here. And right after that, that's when they got their uprise and to where they are now. So
yeah. I'm really very happy for both those guys for where they're at because they've been busting their butt for many years.
Yep.
Goes to show you, when you trust the process, they've definitely enjoyed their journey. So.
For sure. Yep. Would you rather be in a street fight or a death match?
Street fight.
Yeah. Do you not like the death match stuff, wrestling?
No, I know a lot of people that are in the death match community. That shout out to the guys I know from Ruthless Pro and Tommy Chainwreck and everything like that. It's just Bobby V. It's just not my cup of tea.
Right.
I have nothing against it.
Mm-hmm.
it's a very niche audience and everything like that, but people do what they want to do. Fun thing about a street fight is you wear your street clothes, you know?
Yep.
What would be my street clothes for my street outfit? I will wear tight jeans with zebra boots. Just kidding. I will wear cowboy boots and a cut off t-shirt. I'm just kidding. But yeah. Or like a Dago tee. But yeah, I've got nothing against the deathmatch community. The deathmatch wrestling is what they like and everything like that. I've actually helped do cleanup crew for some of the deathmatch shows in some of the companies around here. So a lot of those guys are pretty cool guys and everything like that, but definitely not my cup of tea. I'm very happy though for guys that are killing it, like, you know, Eric Dillinger, you know, Mo Atlas, Ryan Gore, and everything like that. Like, I'm very happy for all of those guys. And Tommy Trainwreck and Bobby B. Like, just happy for them.
Of course, yeah. Putting their body on the line like that, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Would you rather be in a blindfolded match, handcuffed to your opponent, or a dog collar?
Dog collar. I've done one, and I love it. I would love to be in a dog collar. Can't wait to do another one.
It's always like the famous answer.
Yeah.
Is there any piece of merch that you have or had that is sold out pretty quickly? Are you like a merch guy? Have you ever had merch in your
Yeah, so if you want to find my merch, I have a pro wrestling tee store. You can just look up my name, Tully Bertorelli, or, you know, and it's on pro wrestling tees and stuff like that. I've got 3 shirts available if anyone wants to buy any. I definitely have to bring up my merch game to some of the shows, because when I tell people, like, they'll go, you should bring your own merch. And like, I rather like take selfies and stuff like that with fans. But if people want to support me, they can go to my pro wrestling tee store and buy a t-shirt, you know?
Right. Is there any time a fan has seen you in public and got like super surprised and or excited from like recognizing you from TV or recognizing you from elsewhere, just seeing you in general?
I remember one of my old jobs I used to have was I was a bartender. And it was really funny. I had someone recognize me when I was bartending. And they're like, hey, man, are you on Chicago PD? And I thought the guy was ribbing me. And I'm like, because I thought my coworkers told him, because that's what a lot of my coworkers do sometimes. But like, it was just really funny when I'm like, why? He's like, just asking, man. I'm like, yeah, I have. And he looks at his wife. He's like, I told you it's the guy from the last episode of Chicago PD. So that was pretty fun. I thought it was funny when one of my football players, I coach high school football, at the high school I work at, saw my Pine Sol commercial and was like, Coach, what do you do for a living? I'm like, I work at a high school. Why are you in a Pine Sol ad? And I'm like, oh man, you don't know everything about me. You don't listen, do you? So that was pretty fun.
Yeah. So your football players don't know that you're like an actor and a wrestler outside of that?
Oh, they do. I coach high school football. I help out with a drama program at my high school I work at, and I tell the football players after this football camp is done, and then the drama kids know right away what I do, because when I introduce myself in the beginning of the year, I let them know what I do, you know.
Right.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just funny when kids don't listen.
Yeah, I do drama. I don't know if I told you that when we met, but
that's awesome, man.
And, yeah, my first play that I did was last year actually. Because I've been in high school for 3 years, there was a play my first year I got in high school, so I didn't do that because I didn't have the confidence. The only reason I got into the plays last year was because I got asked to be in it
That's
from my
awesome,
choir
man. What was the
teacher.
play?
It was last year. It was Anything Goes.
Oh, dope, man. Cool, dude.
Yeah. So she asked me to be part of it, and I'm like, okay, sure, yeah, I'll do it. And then this year we're actually doing. It's February 21st, 22nd, and 23rd is our play days, but we're doing rehearsing now and stuff, and it's for Cinderella.
Who are you playing?
I'm doing Harold.
Is that the mouse?
No, he's the guy that sings the first song, "The Prince is Given a Ball."
Oh, that's awesome, dude. Good stuff, man.
Yeah. So, because I'm in like choir and band, and I don't really have like the confidence to sing much. So, this is gonna be really big for me because I can't even sing in front of my parents, and I don't really sing much in choir because I don't have the confidence to do that. I'm so now this is where I have to branch out and actually sing in front of this whole crowd of people with so it's gonna be crazy, and it's the opening of the show. I'm the first thing, so
So I'm going to give you some advice, man. There's a thing I learned in comedy back in the day called follow the fear. I did not make up this quote, but it's just follow the fear, follow your instinct to it, and you'll be fine. And always remember this: when you're doing something like a solo like that, is there an exit by your theater?
there's a
The exit
way to
sign?
get out.
You see the exit sign?
Oh yeah, like the doors and stuff.
Yeah. Look at the exit sign. That will take the every time you're out there, look at the exit sign when you're doing that. It'll help calm down the nerves, man. I do it all the time when I was on stage.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, no worries, man. Of course. It's a fun little trick, you know? It's going to be weird at first
yeah,
because you're going to be like, why am I looking at this exit sign? The main reason why you're looking at this exit sign is you don't want to look at someone's face because someone could do a funny face at you and then you fucking like, you know?
yeah. Well, the thing is, I actually have to do dancing with this and stuff and move around, so I have to look at my dance partner, and I have to do all of that while I'm doing it. So I kind of have to
You can
do
look at
that.
your
So
dance partner, but like when you're like out in the crowd, like when you're doing your thing, look for the exit sign. You got this, man.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, because this is like my first time, because I usually don't sing in choir, if I'm being honest. But my choir teacher said she gave me this because she wouldn't have gave me it if I wasn't good. Because I sent this video in one day because we had to send in videos of us singing, and
Yeah.
she thought I was so good that since then it was like, yeah,
You can do it, man. We all believe in you, man. You got this.
thank you, yeah.
No problem about it, of course.
All right. So, who is your favorite horror character and favorite horror movie if you have one?
Favorite horror character? Wow. Freddy Krueger. Favorite horror movie? Dream Warriors. Friday the Third. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Or Wishmaster Part 2. It's
Okay.
incredibly
Yeah.
bad. But I got to meet the guy that played Wishmaster, which was pretty cool. Where he says, I
Oh
actually
wow.
wish. So that was cool.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Chucky.
Nice, man.
Yeah. If you got to choose the stipulation for your match, what stipulation would you choose?
Hmm. I would love to do no rope break, pinfalls and submissions allowed.
Okay,
I
yeah.
think that's like the pure style rules of Ring of Honor back then. I think that would be pretty cool. Pinfalls are allowed, but it will also be in rounds, like a boxing fight.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, that would be something new that we haven't seen before. Yeah, that would
yeah.
be cool.
It's very much World of Sport in England. What they usually do is like 5 minute rounds or 3 minute rounds, pinfall and submission. But I would take off the rope break, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
What has been the funniest thing a fan has said to you before in your career?
Thank you, Pine Sol Lady.
At like a wrestling show or something, somebody told you that?
No, my doctor said that to me once. It's actually the
Oh,
line in my Pine Sol commercial. The funniest thing a fan has ever said to me is that you don't deserve Eddie money. Because I used to come out to Eddie Money, walk on water, and I had a fan yell to
oh,
me,
okay.
said to me, "You don't deserve any money," and I yelled out back, "You don't deserve anything." It was funny.
What has been a best fan compliment you have received, either at like a show or convention?
I've had people tell me. So actually, this guy used to wrestle, which was really cool back in the day for World Class Championship Wrestling, and I was doing this show in Indiana. I was facing Wildman Beast, and before the show, he shook everyone's hand and everything like that. And he was watching the show, and then we go on, we do our thing, and it's a fun match. If you ever want to check it out, look up Loverboy Tiberius Tank versus Beast. It's a lot of fun. I get my tights ripped off and like thrown as a wedgie in the crowd. It was pretty fun. And after the show was done, after our match was done, that dude ran to our freaking like locker room and was looking for us, and he told us that our match was very old school and awesome. So that was probably one of the best comments that I ever gotten. And he actually got to work for the Von Erichs, which was really cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was like the best compliment I ever gotten from like any fan or like wrestler, anything like that. So that was pretty cool.
Right. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Like the guy fought Brody. That gave me that
Oh, Bruiser
compliment.
Brody.
Yeah, he fought Bruiser Brody once. So that was really cool to have a comment like that thrown at me.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Wow. Was there ever a time in your career you ever got kicked out of a wrestling show you were working at?
I've been arrested once. That
Huh.
was last year, but that was part of the show. So, you
Oh,
know,
okay. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, nothing like I got thrown out because I was too wild. It was part of the show.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Was there any time you hit a fan member or wanted to?
no,
Yeah.
it's not worth it.
Right. Have you ever?
I've had 6-year-olds flick me off. Yeah, it's not worth. I'm not punching a 6-year-old in the face, man. Let's be real.
Right. That could probably cause you to go to actual jail. So,
Yeah, exactly.
what would you do if a crowd member came out of the crowd and like attacked you, or have you ever witnessed that, or has that ever happened to you before?
Never happened to me before, but God forbid that happens. We have free liberty to hit them back, but like I will probably not. I probably pin them down while my other guy will probably kick them in the head. Don't hop the ring.
Yeah.
You're not part of the show. You're watching the show. Sit down.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have a background in MMA, bro. Sit down.
Right. Would you rather join DX NWO, APA, or BWO?
Wow. Damn, dude, that's good. You know what, man? I would love to be in the BWO. Actually, I'm a huge Stevie Richards fan. I would love to be in the BWO. As much as I gravitate over the NWO, it'd be cool to be an APA though. Shit, but that's only two guys. You know what? They'd be called TAPA. You know, Tully Acolyte Protection Agency. You know, but no, I would love to be in the BWO. BWO,
Yeah,
then APA, then NWO, and then DX.
right.
Yeah.
If you could have any band or singer perform your theme song, who would you want that to be?
Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Weird Al Yankovic or The Who
Okay.
or David Bowie or Queen.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't think the Weird Al Yankovic would come out. You're like, what? The
Yeah, that caught me off guard. That was.
Is that a first?
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
I'm a big Weird Al fan.
You know who Tiny Tim is, right? He kind of reminds me of him.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
He passed away when he was doing his last concert.
Yeah.
What has been the hardest move you have tried to do to an opponent before?
Slingshot suplex.
Hmm. What usually gets you hyped for a match that you're going to be in?
Like, what usually hypes me up? Like,
Yeah.
explain more. Explain more, Blake. What do you mean by that?
Like, when you're about to go out to the ring to face your opponent, what gets you hyped knowing that you're going to be in this match, that you
Oh,
get to
yeah.
wrestle in front of
Like
these
a
people?
pre-match ritual?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, about.
Okay, so pre-match ritual, sometimes I'll like listen to really bad 80s hair metal and just get in the mindsets. Sometimes I'll bark in the locker room,
Hmm.
and just get ready for it, because I used to bark back in the day. But yeah, I would like listen to like Raise Your Hands by Jovi or like Panama by Van Halen and just get in that mindset.
Right.
Yeah. And before I do any match, I do pray. So
Nice, yeah.
yeah.
What has been your favorite venue you've gotten to wrestle at in your career?
Oh man, there's been so many, man. I've wrestled in the Berwyn Eagles Club in Illinois. That was really cool. I got to wrestle at the Congress Theater once, which, the main event for that show was like Hijo de Santo Blue Demon Jr. versus La Parker. I think Dr. Wagner was there. That was like really cool to be part of that in that
Oh,
building.
wow.
It was really cool to wrestle at Throttle Fest one year, which was like you know, probably my favorite was the Hope Building. I once wrestled for the Special Rec Chicago for Special Olympics in Chicago, over like 650 athletes. That was like one of my favorite shows I ever worked for, because special needs people hold dear to me because I work in
Right.
special ed. So that was really cool to deal with to perform with those kids and everything like that. Um, I've always enjoyed wrestling in Griffin, Indiana for Backbreaker. Really love working in that kind of crowd. It's very wrestling. I always love like I always love wrestling in like wrestling towns. If that makes any sense. Like mom and pop bringing their kids, bringing their family to see the show.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
Right.
so that was a
Of
lot of fun.
course. Yeah. Has there been any time you have accidentally broken out of your wrestling persona?
Uh I really can't remember, bud. I offhand I can't remember. I'm
Right.
sure I have. You know,
Yeah.
but just can't remember right now.
Right. Were you more growing up? Were you more of like a shy, quiet kid, or outgoing, loud, and excited?
Oh, dude, I was loud and excited, man. Here's a joke, man. When I was growing up, everybody knew me. I was very much a talkative dude. My senior noble in high school was most talkative senior. It should have been most popular because from the custodians to the teachers to the high schools and outside of my high school, because I hosted an open mic, so like I had that kind of personality.
Right.
You know, everyone knew Tully. If you didn't know Tully, you didn't exist. That was the big joke that people used to say. My dad used to call me the mayor of Chicago. You know,
Right. Yep.
who knows if I ever want to run for political office? Probably not.
So to finish off this interview, a couple more questions. What is one thing you would tell your wrestling fans or acting fans and tell them that when they've been supporting you?
Yeah, I want to thank you all for my support, to my friends, my family, to the fans, the Tully viewers at home watching this, or just everyone that checks up on me and everything like that, or anyone I've met throughout my life. I always appreciate all of you guys. Um, don't stop believing. Whatever you do, it's going to happen for a reason. Trust the process and enjoy the journey, as I said before. And life is not. Don't skip steps. Walk the path. You know, don't jump around.
Right.
Sometimes you're gonna have low days and high days, but that's called life. Nothing's not always like fairy tale, like gumdrops and like flowers and bright colors. Sometimes it's black and gray and whites, and you'll overcome it. You know,
Of course. Yep.
yeah,
And then for my last question, this is something I ask everybody. Do you have any advice for me to become a wrestler?
yeah. My best advice: you're doing so right now. You're doing the acting part. You know, you're taking
Hmm.
classes. You're doing the high school plays and everything like that. Do you do a sport at all?
No, I don't.
Okay. Best advice is start working out at the gym. Maybe hire a personal trainer, work out with, a family member like a brother or a dad or anything like that. Start working out, or you can start working out on your own by doing push-ups and sit-ups and squats and burpees and jumping jacks and stuff like that. Start running because the training part itself is brutal, but you'll make it through if you can do the conditioning part.
Right.
So, you know, are you going to do the spring play, or is this? No, this is the. You are in the spring. No, you're in the winter play. Is there a spring sport you're looking at?
Um, Not really, because I don't really do much sports.
Okay, that's the one thing I always would say is just like start working out. You know,
Yeah.
so you can.
Yeah.
It's the best thing to do is just start working out at a gym and just take it slow. Start learning how to squat,
Hmm.
start learning how to bench, start learning how to just work out with the machines and stuff like that, and just put on some size. Eat healthy. Don't take supplements or anything like that. You're still growing, so you don't have to take the stuff like you don't have to take pre-workout or take protein or anything like that. Sure, you can have a protein shake, but you can get enough food by just eating stuff and everything like that, like healthy stuff like chicken breast and brown rice and like broccoli and stuff like that. So my best advice for you is just to start working out at the gym. You know,
Appreciate it. Yeah.
no problem.
Yeah, because I had a workout class in school for like the longest time for a couple of years, and I did that. So this year I had it in the beginning of the year. I did that, so I know how to work out, and I
There you
have
go.
there's a gym in my basement that um that my New Year's resolution was to start working out. I haven't yet, but I probably went down there like last week and I started doing something just because I wanted to really, but I just really need to get into it. It's hard for me to keep doing something
Oh
that I
yeah,
mean,
I get that, man.
yeah.
Start saying develop the routine. A lot of New Year's resolutions that we do usually fail, and I'm not saying you're a failure or anything like that, man. But make it
Mhm.
part of your routine. Implement working out in your routine. Don't say in 2025 my New Year's resolution is to start working out more. In 2025, I need to implement or incorporate working out, going to the basement gym and stuff like that. Just
Yeah,
it's a way to trick the brain,
right.
you know.
Yeah, because when I was in school, uh, working out, I was really good. I can lift a lot. I can squat a lot. I can do all of that. It's just, and I worked out every day. It's just
Yeah,
after that, I kind of had to do that for like a grade, and then
yeah.
after that, like kind of fell off. Like I feel bad that I stopped because I wanted to keep going,
Don't
but
feel bad. Don't feel bad. Don't beat yourself up, dude.
yeah,
Yeah. You're 16. Keep it. You're still 16, right? You're not 17 yet.
yep, 16,
Yeah,
yep,
you're 16. You got plenty of time, bud. So
yep,
start working out now. Start doing your push-ups and sit-ups. You know what? In the morning, wake up and just do, or before you go to bed, do build yourself up to doing 100 push-ups and sit-ups. You know,
yeah,
break it up, of course. Like do 10 sets of 10 or 25, 4 sets of 25 and stuff like that. But yeah,
yeah. All right. Well, I thank you for the advice and stuff, and I thank you for doing this interview. It was a pleasure to have you on here.
of course, man. Yeah.
I hope to see you maybe again for another UPW show down the
Yeah.
line. So
You cool if I
possibly
plug
see
in
each other
anything
again.
real quick, Blake?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I was going to ask you that if you wanted to plug in anything.
Yeah. So if they want to, if anyone is interested in me, they can follow me on Instagram at Tully Bertorelli. You can check me up at UPW Wrestling. You can check me at Fantastic Leagues of Wrestling. You can check me at Wrestle League LLC. You can check me at Backbreaker in Griffin, Indiana, and you can also check me out at We Love Wrestling up in Wisconsin. So
Nice. Yep. All right. Well, thank you again, and hope to see you soon for another UPW show. I know I won't be at the next one in Escanaba because that's my my
yeah, of course,
actual
man.
play is going on that week. But maybe sometime. So yeah, thanks again, and I hope you have a good rest of your night.
You too, bud. I'll see you in March. All right.
Yep. See ya.
Peace.
Bye.